All right, everybody, want to get really, really practical right now. We're gonna go into a little bit more of a long form video speaking to arm injuries. This time of year for our high school and college players is typically when things start to pop up. We've had the entire fall and winter to train, to get better, to long toss and bullpens and all that good stuff. We tend to take some time off during our break, whether it's our Christmas break or an extended period of time where our coach tells us, hey, let's lay off your arms and get ready for the spring. And so arms tend to come back getting a little sore. I'm going to speak to the elbow specifically, and I'll probably have some other long form videos speaking to our thought process on the shoulder. And then the third area, which is the least common but is there, is lower back. So right now, if your elbow is sore after throwing, if you were to be training at KPI, here is our thought process. We use armcare.com to look at your baseline numbers of your strength and your range of motion to see, hey, is there any drastic changes? Common when we have soreness is we lose range of motion in one direction or across the board. And so if you've lost range of motion, whether it's internal or external, or a really common one is extension, being able to straighten your arm out all the way, you need to look at that and say, okay, hey, that loss of range of motion, is that drastic enough? And do I need to address it? And can I get that back to normal? There are specific exercises that we can go after. Here at KPI, we will program that for you, and then we'll continue to retest your range of motion to make sure that you're getting back to your normal first place it will go to, right? Secondary to that is strength. So if we have a strength deficit, say a number goes down like crazy, internal rotation strength goes down, external rotation strength goes down, scaption or grip, we're going to program out some extra strength work for that area to try and get those muscles back on track or back to your old normal. So those are the two ways that we're going to talk about this from more of the strength and conditioning side of things. The other side of things is the skill side, the pitching side. Okay, hey, my arm is getting sore. Is that soreness, first and foremost, lingering beyond 2 days? So if it's 1 or 2 days and you're getting sore and it goes away, we can kind of put that to the back of our mind and say, okay, hey, like I want to stay on top of this. I got to make sure I'm doing all the things I need to do to keep my arm feeling good, but it's not really something that we're going to address right away. Again, we'll just kind of save that for a later day. If you're an athlete where it's like, man, this soreness is sticking around for multiple days, okay, we need to dig into, from a throwing standpoint, okay, what are you doing, whether it's the number of throws, volume, intensity of throws, how hard you're throwing, and do those things align with, first and foremost, what your arm is prepared for, secondarily, what you need to be doing. So this time of year, it's very common where you hit the ground running. High school season is going to start up in a few weeks, and coaches have got to see how's your arm looking? How's that guy doing? I need you to throw a bullpen. I need you to throw live. I want you to face hitters. We got a game around the corner. Or from a college standpoint, hey, we need to start doing our scrimmages. We need to start seeing, okay, who did their work over winter break, who's prepared, and then what do I have going into my spring season? College players have a little more flexibility, whereas our high school players, things tend to get lost during this time of the year. So, okay, that soreness, if it lasts longer than 2 days, we probably need to have a conversation with somebody, whether it's my pitching coach, my parents, somebody who can help make a better decision for you as to, okay, where is this soreness? Why is it happening? Do we need to adjust your throwing volume or intensity? Or do we need to consult somebody else? At KPI, if that soreness is over a 5 out of 10, we will then categorize you as somebody, okay, hey, we probably need to refer out. We're going to give you a 3-day window with exercises and things to address that area, the elbow, the shoulder, the joint, whatever it may be, and see, does this 5 out of 10 go back down to a 1, 2, 3? If it doesn't, if it stays at that 5 or it stays up at that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we're going to refer you out right away. One season is not worth, one outing, one game is not worth losing 4, 5, 6, 12 months of baseball. Right now, again, some coaches might not agree with this, but the high school season, you blowing out your arm at this time of the year is probably not the best choice when it comes to your development, it comes to achieving your goals, and it comes to recruitment. So we use that rule of thumb. If you're that athlete who gets up to that 5 out of 10, it works back down, we're going to adjust your throwing volume, how much you're throwing, and we're going to adjust your intensity. We recommend to measure intensity with a radar gun. There are other tools out there that are useful, but a pocket radar can give a ton of feedback where, hey, today we're going to throw a bullpen at 60 to 70%. Well, if you know that that kid throws 80 miles an hour and he's on the mound throwing 79 to 80 miles an hour and he's supposed to be throwing a 60 to 70% bullpen, that intensity is way too high and it's going to cause too much soreness. if this is another common one, hey, I'm long tossing today, and I want to do my throws and my arm's feeling good, so I'm gonna let it eat. Well, if your throwing volume significantly increases, we're probably gonna see residual soreness that comes from that. So from a pitching coach's perspective, if you're in that 0 to 5 soreness range and you're starting to creep above that 5, if we reduce volume, we reduce intensity, and you see progress, it feels better, awesome. Once you take that athlete and start trying to ramp up again, we recommend a 10 to 20% increase in volume. So the number of throws increase 10 to 20%, probably week to week. And then intensity, 2 to 3 miles an hour, say in each bullpen, slowly increase that too. And so controlling and making sure that, hey, we're not going 0 to 60, we're not going full 100% intent right away. And then again, using some tools, Cheap Pocket Radar is a great way to do that, to get you feedback on the intensity versus trusting the 14, 15, 16-year-old, their word and how they feel and what they think their arm is ready for. We do not want to rely on that kid's opinion on what they should be doing. They deserve more than that. So just, again, another way to, okay, hey, arms are getting sore. Do I need to adjust programming, whether it's the throwing or the lifting? Probably. If it's at that 5 out of 10 and below, okay, we can manage, but we need to make sure that we're continuing to ramp up what they need to be ready for in season. And then secondary to that, if it is between the 5 to 10, okay, can I get it back down to a manageable range and then make that part of the routine? Because something else we have to balance here on the baseball coach side of things is we got to play, we got to win games. And so at this time of the year, if it's a player that makes sense to shut them down, you might want to consider that. But if we can get them into that manageable range and then hold them there, okay, hey, let's take care of this and just manage it. And then once we get to a point in the season or at the end of the season, like, hey, like we need to go and get a second opinion on this, then that's a good time to do that. So I can empathize with the baseball coach where it's like, man, I only got so many guys, I only got so many pitchers. I got to make sure that everybody is ready to go. And so managing those pitchers and making sure that they're not getting outside of that 5 out of 10 as far as discomfort goes is a route that you can take. If it's something that consistently, okay, hey, I'm getting to that 6, 7, 8 out of 10 discomfort, on the pitching coach side of things, if they're consistently having command issues, the consistency of their pitches, if their velocity is all over the place, one day they're lights out and the next day they're terrible, and that happens over and over again, we likely need to refer out to somebody. At KPI, we're happy to be that first line of defense for you. Come talk to our pitching coaches, talk to myself, and we can give you more insight on what you potentially could do with that guy, because we have 100 plus pitchers coming through our doors every single day. We manage this for multiple types of players of talent and experience, and where they're at throughout their season. So happy to be that consult for you. If not, going to your athletic trainer on campus, going to, if you have a trusted resource, get another set of eyes on that athlete to figure out, okay, what do I need to do to make sure that this kid stays healthy? Because ultimately, keeping your pitchers healthy and having them ready for the end of the season is probably more important than that bullpen in March, than that live scrimmage to see who's ready to pitch in the end of February. And those dates are obviously very specific to California. But an athlete who's getting into that 8 out of 10, who is consistently having performance issues, when it is the elbow specifically, we need to stay on top of that. We need to be proactive. We got to get other professionals in that conversation to figure out what that athlete needs. So as I wrap this up, I think one more thing that you can do, and this is probably for more of our younger athletes, is you can have them do, and if they're comfortable with it, you can poke around a little bit and start working through this inside part of their forearm and moving closer to the elbow specifically. So if their soreness is in the muscle, more of this forearm area, okay, we probably can be in that 0 to 5. We probably can do some rehab and prehab stuff to get that athlete feeling better. As we move closer to the joint itself, right on the bone, we need to be really, really aware of that. That's an area that can get very cranky. And a way that you can make sure, again, a common cop-out for our parents is, oh, it's growing pains. Well, you can test their non-throwing side, and if they get the same discomfort on that side, hey, maybe it is a growing pain. Hey, the bones grow much faster than the muscles, specifically, 13 to 16, 15, 16 years old, and it's going to cause more stress to those joints. So you can test both sides. As it works under into this groove and towards the tip of the elbow, that's probably somewhere where right away we'll refer out, see somebody, get checked, get an x-ray, get an MRI if needed, get more information. If that person has discomfort bending their arm, or if you push on their arm all the way, if they have discomfort extending their arm and locking it out, and it's in that groove, probably refer them out right away. If that person loses a significant amount of range of motion, whether it's the arm, okay, I'm starting to lose, 5, 10, multiple degrees, okay, probably gonna refer that person out. I think those are the signs right away, like, hey, I'm a baseball coach, I'm a strength coach. I am not in the position to make the best decision for you as an athlete. Chiros, PTs, doctors, orthos, those people are in a much better position to help guide you on what you need to do with that athlete. And as much as it could be a pain to, hey, that's my best guy and I got to send him out, if you really do care about your athletes, getting them to the right coach, the right person to make the best decisions for them, you could really extend careers pretty far. So the elbow specifically, this is the point of the year that it's going to get sore. And I like the scale of 1 to 10, 5 being that threshold. Of anything above 5, we probably need to figure out what's really going on here. Anything under a 5, change their arm care, whether it's adding strength to a specific muscle, adding range of motion to a specific joint, or adjust their volume and intensity. Hey, how much I'm throwing, how hard I'm throwing, manipulate all those variables and try and keep them in that range where, like, hey, yeah, you're probably gonna get sore this time of the year. We need to make sure that it stays underneath that 5 out of 10. And we need to make sure that it goes back to normal over 1 to 2 days. Anything beyond that, find that professional help you.